You want something special, trying to create something nice. Just pick up your pencil and take my advice. Come with me and you'll see everything that crafting can do. You'll agree I can make a thing of beauty and I'll pass it on to you. It's Double J Graphics. Double J. Oh, graphics, 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 graphics. I'll make a thing of beauty and I'll pass it on to you. It's Double J. Okay. Let's get started. Okay, today we're going to be doing a tray with fabric. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what materials I'm using. Okay, so here we go. Okay, the first thing we have is, of course, the tray. The material we're going to use, I'm going to be using material from a uniform I cut up. You can buy little swatches of material from Walmart. This is a swatch of material. It comes in a little fold. I'll show you them. Give me a second. Let me get them. So this is one of the things of material from Walmart. This is Harry Potter. They come, it'd be like 4 or 5 of them, but it's a pretty big sheet. And this one like $2.97. It had like 4 or 5 of them in it. So it's a pretty big sheet. Or you can use like the scarves or whatever material you want. It's better to get the cotton. Cotton is a little bit more stretchable, but I'm gonna do it with this material from my old set of BDUs, okay? Mod Podge, it don't matter if you use this one or the dishwasher safe. It don't matter because you're gonna put epoxy on top of it, okay? Something to spread your Mod Podge with. I use this little sponge brush. Then you're gonna need an X-Acto knife. I use all kind of them, or scissors. This is a Cricut one. That's a fabric roller, and this is just a regular utility knife. You might use your squeegee because I use that to press it down to make sure I get the wrinkles out. And then I have a metal ruler. That's what I use to cut, to make it as neat as I can when I get it on there. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to jump right into this, okay? The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to cover the tray with Mod Podge, okay? So I also have a paper plate here so I won't get Mod Podge all over my desk and have the paper stuck to my desk. So you just take the Mod Podge and we're going to cover the bottom of the Mod Podge, okay? I mean, cover the bottom of the tray with Mod Podge. You want something special, trying to create something nice. Okay, once we get the Mod Podge in, I put it on there kind of thick. We're going to take the material and we're going to press it down in there, okay? I don't know if I cut this right, but it's going to be okay. As long as it's going to fit the whole thing. So I'm going to press it down. I'm going to use my squeegee. This is some thick material, so you're going to need a lot of Mod Podge if you're going to do some thick material like this. If you're not going to do, you know, if you're using one of these or a scarf, you don't need as much. But on this material, this is like almost like jeans. You're going to need enough to stick it down, okay? And I'm just using this to get as much of the wrinkles out as I can. It's okay if the Mod Podge come through the material. We're going to put some on the other side too. So if you put a lot, that's fine. The more you put, the better the stick. Always go back and put a little more if you need some more. And I'm going to put some more around the sides. Like in these little corners. Now, you can spray your tray if you want to color. If your material is see-through, this you can't see through, so it was no reason for me to color the to spray paint it. But when I use something like these, they really thin. I would spray paint the tray prior to putting the Mod Podge on it. But this is really thick and you can't see through this. So once I get that down, try your best to get all the wrinkles out. Okay, so I got it all the way up to the rim. I don't have this part yet, the little design. I don't have that cover yet. So what I'm going to do right now, since I got this where I want it, I'm going to put Mod Podge on the top of this, okay? Don't y'all think we should write this company? What's the name of this company? Guess the name of, Plaid. Plaid is the name of, we need a petition to change this to Mod Podge, because, you know, most of us call it Mod Podge. I have to take a effort to say Mod Podge. So once I do that, then I'm gonna put it on the outside, okay? Lots of it, okay? And you want to make sure when you're doing the outside, this is going to be your thickest part, especially if you're doing light colors where that epoxy can seep through and change the color. You know how it seeps through on decals? It'll seep through on material too. So you want to make sure you cover every inch. You don't want to leave no part unmod podged. Okay? So I'm going to cover this and then I'm going to let it sit and let it completely dry. And then I'm going to do the edges of it, okay? I'm still trying to figure out what I want it. All the way to the edge, I want that silver part showing. I might leave the silver part showing on this one. But of course, you know, when I do something, I'm going to do a couple of different ways. So we're going to do one with the just the bottom covered also. But this one is going to be a full cover. Notice I'm sitting down because, you know, one of the benefits, I know y'all think I'm crazy, but one of the benefits of working at home is you don't really have to dress, so I really don't have on pants. We family. Okay, I'm going to allow this to dry completely. So I'm allowed to dry a couple of hours because I have dominoes that I'm making. So I'm allowed to dry a couple of hours and then I'll be back. But you make sure you get it in all the little spaces. You don't want to leave nothing unmod podged. Let it dry completely. And this one I did up to the rim. But I don't know if If this is going to be a one up to the rim or a full one, we will see. But no matter, whichever way, I'm going to show you all the ways. So we're going to do one that we just do the bottom also. So that's a real neat one too. I have a couple of them over there. That'll be another video. But this one, we're going to do a full tray. Okay, that's looking good. So I'm going to let this dry while I go and finish some dominoes. I'll be back. Okay, we are back. This is completely dry. It dried for about maybe 4 or 5 hours. I was doing dominoes. But the point is you want to make sure it's completely dry before you put epoxy on it. Now, this is the point where you decide what you're going to do. So, you can take it and turn it over and put epoxy all the way up to the rim and on the back, and you can do it to right here. I saw people do that. Put it to right here. Let's see, right there. However, what I'm going to do is, I think I want to show some of the silver. I probably should have spray painted it black, but that's okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut around the rim, okay? So I'm going to take my X-Acto knife and I'm going to cut around the rim. So first I cut with my scissors just to get some of the excess off so it won't be so hard to cut. Not too close because I want to have enough grip to cut where I want. Of course, I use this part right here that I'm cutting off probably for sorry, I get the cutting, I'm paying no attention to talk. I use this part probably for the jar, if I do a jar to go with it. Maybe to put some stripes on the tumbler, because we can see it's not big enough to do another tray. However, those some big enough pieces. Or maybe I'll do a set of dominoes with them. I could do that. Or use it for dominoes for some of the fronts of the dominoes. Sometimes if I make a military set, they might want their rank on there. So what I'll do is make a rank and put it on the uniform. So it's a couple of things you can do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to cut right around the edge so that this silver piece will be showing right here, the edge of it. So what I'm going to do, because the reason I want to do that, I don't know if you can see this. I found a hole in there. So it's an old uniform. So I was like, I got to do something so that hole won't be a big problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to cut right around the edge of this. And I'm just following the path on the tray. I'm not making nothing, just running the X-Acto knife along that little outer edge, okay? I scored it and now I'm going to cut it. And yeah, I might have some little lines, but that's fine because it's a uniform and it's okay to be rugged. Then I'm scoring it, then I come back and cut it. Scoring it is them little dots, the perforations, if you will. That's what scoring it is. And then I just come back. Once I score it, let me see if you can see that. So once I score it, you see the little dot, 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 dot. That's scoring it. So once I score it, I just go and put the knife in there and just gently run along that dot, dot, and it's easier to cut like that, okay? So, let me do that. Then we'll come back. So I have it roughly done. If you see that, so I'm gonna go and I'm getting ready to trim up the little string that's hanging out. So I just take my scissors and I clip it. Trying to cut it really, really straight. And I usually get it straight. So I'm using the silver. The inside's a little bit like lip right there. I'm using that as my guide to cut around. And I'm just trimming it up because I'm getting ready to go ahead and Mod Podge it on down. So I'm going to trim that up and I'll be back. Okay, we are back. We are back. So if you see, I trimmed along the edges. Let me take the camera and I'm going to take it off the stand so you can see it. Okay. Yeah, I'm just getting the strings off. You know, the more you pull, the more they come out. Unfortunately, until I get it glued all the way down. Every time I pull one, I'm gonna make more strings. Just like your sweater when you pulling stuff. Okay, so if you can see, I did it around the edge with the silver showing. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue that down, okay? So what I'm going to do, there I go, still pulling strings. Cut them, Stephanie, cut. Yeah, cut your strings off when you're doing this. If you have a loose string, just cut it. Don't be a Stephanie and pull it, because you're going to be pulling all night. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, so I wanted the little silver around there, but you don't have to do that. And if I had, I think I should have probably painted this black, maybe. So you can base paint a color that's in your design so it'll look better if you're going to do the edge showing. This is silver. I guess it'll be okay, because what I'll do is, since it's BDUs, I'll put a dog tag with it. I'm still trying to even this edge out. It just ain't even to me. Still trying to even. The corner where it kind of bunched up when you spreading it down on the corner, or when you gluing it down on the corner, that kind of sticks, you know, have that little fold. And I try to make it as flat and as smooth as I can. Yeah, I'm kind of picky. I'll be cutting this for the next hour. So I'm going to go ahead and go. Okay, so next we're gonna Mod Podge this down. Y'all, I gotta get this right here. It's bothering me. I don't want to cut it too far down. It's hard to hold my scissors and try to get it to where you all can see. So I'm sorry about keep picking up the tray, not picking it up, sounding like Yoga the Bear with the picnic. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and what I'm gonna do, remember I just did the glue up to the top of the rim, so I actually have to fold this down, and I'm gonna stick some glue under there all the way around the edge, because I didn't glue the edge. I'm gonna put some glue under there, and then I'm going to put some glue on the top just like I did at the beginning when I did the bottom. I'm gonna shut this thing down. Well, I've been cut myself. Okay, so we're gonna do that. Let me get some of this. Okay. So now we're gonna just put some more Mod Podge on here under the rim and above. So let me get that done. Sorry. Okay, I'm gonna let this dry. I just got it around the edges. Not really too thick because it's really stuck down. If you're doing it straight at the top, you're gonna leave some room. That's why you should paint it. My initial thought was to go over the edges, but if you're gonna do it all the way and leave it on the top and not put it under the thing, you need to go ahead and spray paint a base color so that color shows, because you have to leave the edge for something for the epoxy to stick to, okay? So you can't go right up to the edge because the epoxy is gonna have nothing to stick to. So that's why I left that little edge around there. So I'm gonna let this dry. I'm gonna go around it with some alcohol and get some of that excess glue off of there and let this dry. And then we're gonna epoxy it before I go to bed. And I'll show you how I epoxy it. All right, I think that's it. I'm gonna get this glue off my hand. Okay, I am back. So the tray is completely dry. Make sure it was completely dry. I have already mixed some epoxy. Hopefully you can hear me. I'm sure you can because I'm loud as fuck. So all we're going to do is put the epoxy on the tray. So give me a second. Let me adjust the camera. Okay, so to do the epoxy, it ain't nothing special. I just put the epoxy on. And then I spread it. Making sure I get it everywhere. And then, of course, we all know. Girl, if you don't turn that camera, see how people be messing up my groove. So as we all know, epoxy is self-leveling. So I just smooth it out a little bit with the spatula. Then I come back and spread it. Okay. You want to make sure you get it all over. It don't have to be thick unless you want a thick bottom to your tray. Make sure you get it all over. Then you go get some on the edge. So this is my epoxy tray station. Got I got several trays over here I got to do, okay? So I'm just showing you this one. These couple of them. So you see I got a stack of these. A stack of these. Get ready for 420. That's why I'm showing y'all different ways to do the trays, okay? So you just get it everywhere. Oh, I changed trays then, sorry. This is a cloth tray too, so it's the same. Okay. So the next time we'll see you, this will be, I'm going to leave the tray overnight. Then I'll show you the final product. All right, so we shall be back after this dries. Okay, I'm finished. It's the next morning. I have not glued this in place, but I'm going to put this strip around the sides. But I'm waiting until I sell this because I will put a name or a saying on there, and I'll do another layer of epoxy. But I know y'all didn't want to wait on that, so there you go. Oh, yeah. Look at them dominoes. Bam. Oh, yeah. Back to the cloth one. Well, that is it, and you can decorate it how you want. Again, I'm going to put some kind of saying on here. Do another layer of epoxy. They might want a picture of them in their uniform or whatever. But that's it. Material on the tray. Well, fabric on the tray.